Very annoying 5 minutes. I don't know what happened there. I scheduled the live stream for 5 o'clock. I had a beautiful thumbnail all worked out with the title and text and everything like I had planned it out very nicely. And for some odd reason, there you go guys. And for some super odd reason, the technology again, it refused to cooperate. I don't know if it was user error. I just couldn't pull up the prepared file there I had, which is very annoying. Sorry about that, guys. Hello, Janie B, welcome. Guys, I was trying to get that all squared away there just now. Something went wrong, and the live stream that I had prepared refused to pull up on my mobile phone here, so that's really annoying. I had a real nice setup there. I was working on the computer all day doing research and filling in all the text. I'll go ahead and I'll convert all that later into this video so that possibly people can find that live stream. So no problem. Yes, welcome everybody. We're going to wait a minute so we get some more people here in the chats. A couple of the regular suspects here have to probably get the notification. It's going to take a couple of minutes. Here we got 3 people in the chat now, 4 people in the chat now. It's one of our regular. Okay, yeah. There's a lot going on in the world today, and one of the many things that concern me while I'm watching current events is one of the reasons I wanted to make this live stream today. It's a very important topic. Our drinking water is a very sensitive source of our valuable day-to-day life. So it's something we need every day, and we take for granted in our modern day society. We don't think twice about where it comes from. We complain about the price of gasoline now at the pumps. 6 months ago, I was laughing about the price of water being higher than the price of gas, and now it's the other way around. But again, soon, I think that as the tide turns, it'll be ironic how that situation will switch around. A gallon of water will cost $50, usable drinking water. If you think about that, that's what it's going to come to. So that's a really insane topic. If you have a lot of people who live in like big cities, commercialized suburbs, it's going to be a real big problem trying to maintain a clean drinking water supply, because you have a high concentration of people living in such a small area. Sewage plants and sewage plants and waste material, especially they say that there's a large amount of medications and antibiotics in the water that the plants have to filter out. But if you don't have a base supply of water for the sewage plants to be able to function properly, because they do have to have a base supply of water to be able to dilute and filter and purify certain quantities of water, then you're not going to have drinking water. You're not going to have water to flush down the toilet. You're not going to have water to brush your teeth or drink. And soon everybody will be out drinking out of all kinds of different nasty ponds, and that's not a good thing. And there can only be so much bottled water available in the first place. And all the springs and lakes, all the natural wells where all the drinking water is going to be coming from, that as well will be contaminated or dried up, and that source of drinking water will soon dwindle down to a bare minimum, disappear as well. Something I'm very concerned about. If you look at some places like in Africa, where the drinking water in certain areas has been privatized by companies Nestle, you have a scenario there where you can imagine what it'd be like if that were to happen worldwide, because the industry will be privatizing the few drinking water supplies that are left by privately militarizing possibly even the governments, to the point where they protect and monopolize drinking water supply like they do the fuel. And that's going to be very Mad Max-like. as their companies, because I have a lot of people in Africa right now. A lot of my friends were in the mining business privately together, and they tell me a lot about what's going on down there and how China is buying up small plots of land and illegally confiscating everything around that land, basically with illegal military-style encampment. Basically, they buy a tiny plot of land and have the license to mine that, and millions of acres around that is populated then also by the Chinese, and it's pushing the local inhabitants out. It's almost like what happened with the RAF with the diamonds back in the day. Hello, Mokoko64, welcome. We had a little bit of error going on. I couldn't figure out what was going on. I tried so hard to make a beautiful thumbnail and research my topic and make a nice post, and I'll just cut and paste it all over to this window when I get home, when I get off the phone here. So I'll just have to correct all of that. Yeah. So there are places in Africa right now that are doing exactly what's going to probably be happening in the rest of the world here if we're not careful. So their drinking wells have been privatized, and the people working in the mines for slave labor salaries, basically, are working in waters. What we got here? We got a stau. Traffic jam. That's awesome. That gives us more time to chat, I guess. Everybody here's flying by me like no tomorrow. That's gonna be, I gotta watch out. Yeah, so, yeah, that's one thing to worry about. It's gotta wake up. The main we had a little bit of connection problem right there. I don't know if you guys were able to catch the news today. Northern Europe here, we have a dying fish problem. Polluted water in the ocean is killing millions and millions of fish, and nobody knows what's wrong. So it's right now they speculate that the pollution caused by a toilet paper factory in Poland is the reason right now. And they're speculating. Now I see different reports. I see some reports saying that it's mercury and with some other chemicals in the water with some kind of benzol distillants with like a highly aggressive cleaner with a petroleum-based cleaner, which is they're speculating is the problem, but they can't. I don't know what the actual certain causes right now. They're saying it's mercury and a detergent chemical in the water, and then other reports of saying they haven't seen any significant chemical biological reason for the fish to be dying. The fish samples haven't shown any signs of cause of death or mass pollution, and it's very uneasy. Makes me feel very uneasy when I look at this and see one side says, yeah, there's chemicals and pollution, and the other says, yeah, we don't know why the fish are dead. There's no obvious reasons except a higher oxygen level in the water and a raised salt. The saltiness of the sea in certain areas is above normal as well. That would be possibly explained by the high temperatures evaporating the water down. But that being, there's less water in the ocean at this very moment because of less precipitation due to the global warming. However, that would also lead to being less oxygen in the water, so you can't have both at the same time, which is very weird. Microplastics was something interesting I was thinking about, but again, the laboratory would have been able to determine that. And a massive death of the fish all at once, and it's centralized around. Everything is centralized around this one factory outlet in Poland. Now, the factory itself says we have not been responsible for such deterrence, but there's been also some evidence or some reports. There's been reports of somebody possibly doing this maliciously. So that's another thing to be worried about. Now, if you're conspiracy theories, put on your hat, bring your tinfoil hat. My tinfoil helmet's at home. We're gonna go get that right now, so we can, so be right along the alley there. But if you want to go that route and believe that possibly someone actually poisoned the water supply maliciously with some kind of unknown substance to disrupt the food chain in Europe, hence global depopulation. Yeah, they didn't like what I said there. They had to reconnect us for a second there. They're warning us. No talking about conspiracy theories. All right, so I will catch you later. We'll maybe watch the stream when you get home. Yeah, so we don't know really if this is an accident or if someone did it on purpose as like a terrorist attack or tried to disrupt the food chain. I don't know. I just watched that new Jurassic World movie, which I thought was pretty lame and cheesy. But it was something to watch. We were sitting on the couch and said, hey, let's watch this new Jurassic Park movie here. And we watched it. It was better than going to the theater and wasting $50 on tickets and, unhealthy snacks. So we watched that movie. And in that movie, there was a genetically engineered locust species to eat the crops that were not genetically engineered to the genes of those locust species, which reminded me so much of what I saw today. I saw that Jurassic Park movie yesterday, and now all the fish are dying. I wonder what that's going to lead to. That might be something, similar. Someone may be killing all the fish with chemicals, and then saying, "Okay, we now have this new." Yeah, so they keep reconnecting us here. They don't like what we're talking about. You can tell that. Yeah, so you get the idea, though. It may be, if you want to play on the idea that someone maliciously poisoned the water supply to kill off all the fish. Surprisingly enough, though, it's just been fish that are dying, as far as I'm aware. It's just been fish that are dying. I haven't seen any larger animals affected by it yet, or any plant life in certain aspects that would also be washing up on the shore. So it's very interesting to see. It's mind-boggling, and it concerns me very. I like eating fish, and if I had to, fish would be one of the last things I resort to eating. And now I'm looking at this and going, you just look at this and go, damn, they're really trying so hard, aren't they? They're trying, and the pace at which all these things are picking up, it's just outrageous. If you can't eat the fish, because first of all, there won't be many. If you can't eat the fish out of the water because they're poison, you can't drink the water, it's poison. You can't give it to your animals, your livestock, because it's poison. The wells are all drying up, it's global warming, all the water's going out, and you can't. Who knows, maybe all the water on inland will soon be like, yo, you can't drink this, it's radioactive, or it's highly toxic, it's got these very dangerous chemicals in it. And then guess what? We're going to have to massive slaughter all the livestock and cattle to prevent pandemic from spreading. When these animals starve to death, we're going to have to mass murder all of these animals, just like they did with mad cow disease and the bird flu and swine flu and all these other things. And then we'll have a real problem. There won't be any food left. The people who will have rabbits and chickens left just barely will be like, okay, you need to kill them too, because now all of these other, it'll be just one wave after the next of people being forced to get rid of their livestock. If you like conspiracy theory. Now let's put on a minute and think about what this could be for real. I'll just say for 1 minute that this factory had an accident and they refused to admit it because they already see the outmass of it. It's just enormous, and no amount of money can fix what they have done, and they will be put in court, and most likely a lot of people will go to jail for a very long time because there's no amount of money that can fix what has been done. So I think maybe if you look at it that way, it's very plausible that that's what happened. Now, if you look at the outmass of this, if we can't find the reason for it, pinpoint the exact cause, and then be able to come up with a solution very fast, this problem is going to be spreading very, very quickly and be affecting the rest of the world in a very wide range of different aspects to watch. I'm going to exit this on-ramp here. It's very competitive driving here in Germany. You need a race car driver to drive the Autobahn. Yeah, so that's I was thinking about that all day. global warming. And I was just talking with the farmers at the farmer market here, because we live in a farming town, that this is our driest year. Well, we've had droughts in German history before, but this is the longest time which it hasn't rained with the highest temperatures in recorded history. With I know now two generations of farmers have told me that's over like 100 years of living here experience. In the time that I've lived here, and the 38 years that I've grown up here in Germany, I remember it was probably vaguely because I was just a boy back then, being at school, and we've had some really abnormally hot summers, and I couldn't go out and play soccer with my friends. That was kind of depressing, but I can't remember. You see the world differently when you're small, so I didn't have the wide view of how the world works back then. I just wanted to go out and play soccer, and you couldn't do that because it was hot. And but I do remember days where it was just so. I was in school too. It was just too hot to do anything. School was canceled quite a few times as well because it was just too hot. I don't know what to think about this, honestly. I don't like to go down the rabbit hole of saying it's all conspiracy, global warming. But what I don't believe is the carbon footprint. I believe that is a big scam by the green world politicians to catch you and take your money. It's a whole new form of violence that's silent and can really suppress and harm people in a much longer term perspective than if you were to do it in a direct form, such as violent attacks or direct attack on somebody's freedom. This is a more effective and a more brutal way to attack someone's livelihood and lifestyle, just by the fact that you are taking away their style of living and blaming that on the fact that they exist is causing the planet to suffer. Now, I do know that industry is going to be the person you want to focus your attention on when you want to figure out, speaking of carbon footprint and all that. If you go and you take every human activity, and let's just say humans vanish from the earth instantly, right now, in a million years, let's just say 2 million years, probably, nobody would, or nothing would, you wouldn't see anything man-made left on this planet. There would be very little left on the surface of the earth in 1 million or 2 million years that would indicate that we humans were here and we destroyed everything. There may be some places where you can maybe still see from space, but the earth would have taken everything back. And that's why I know this is a big joke. If we look at all the ancient historical cities and civilizations that existed, that we know of, that we have discovered, and we have been able to determine that they had technology, and there's mysteries of their technology that we don't still understand today, even beyond the Egyptians, way older than the Egyptians. And they're vanished from the planet of the earth simply for one of the major facts is that, was it 80% of the earth is ocean or something like that? The earth changes and shifts constantly. Volcanoes erupt, earthquakes happen, tectonic plates shift, and entire areas of land are destroyed, are covered in volcanic ash or lava, or sink completely from the surface of the earth forever. Under the ocean possibly, or in any other way. It's almost impossible to find something that is so old that it would tell us who was here way before with any type of technology to prove anything that's and it's to prove any thought or hypothesis that there was any other civilization as advanced as ours at all. It's really interesting. That really blows my mind. You really know there's been evidence, but you can't go past, there's no really hard proof, and we know there's lost civilization under the earth and in the ocean, but we can't touch it. or at least most of it we can't touch. And if we do discover something that questions the common state of everything, they tell us. Probably it's the establishment may not be questioned. It's one of the major rules, I guess. Yeah, I was worried about eventually one day it'd be a Mad Max scenario. To go run around. Well, that would be kind of ironic, wouldn't it? Using fossil fuel powered vehicles racing around with a war for water. Electric vehicles are not going to break the balance. I think they're going to make everything worse. I put all my faith into hydrogen. I think hydrogen-powered motor vehicles are going to be a solution to transportation issues. That we can even use hydrogen-powered vehicles in the future to power our electrically driven vehicles that might be able to fly someday, sort of like in Back to the Future. So that's something I probably won't live to see, but I do know that it's a very high possibility. And since the internet will probably be around for way longer than me, someone might watch this video and go, that guy knew what he was talking about. So that's pretty cool. We're going to be almost at the Viking camp now. I'm going to probably end the stream here in a little bit. I have to drive up through the forest. And then, that's my neighbor's out. Okay. Drive up through the forest and then do a roundabout of what's going on at the camp. And then come back home and see if I need to grab Vanessa if there's something to eat. I'm really hungry. Hope she made some delicious dinner because I am absolutely starving. I want something with noodles today. Maybe she's watching this. Maybe by the time I come home, you can have something made with noodles magic. I don't know. We'll see. Or we have to go shopping. That would be terrible. Yes. Yeah, so if we don't have any drinking water, I hope you're all... that's right, I had a poll. So I'll be checking out that poll here when I get home. Yeah, me personally, I will be building myself a big water filter for the Viking camp. And we'll be in the market for purchasing several different backup spares for the house. And another project for this winter will be digging a well. We're going to dig a well regardless. We're going to dig a well somewhere. That is for a fact. Because without a well, pretty much, that would be... So that's a problem I'm running into now. Is not having enough water to sustain all of my plants at the Viking camp. So that's a big issue that I'm working on right now. But it will be resolved here shortly. Plan for this winter: dig a well, and possibly a greenhouse, chickens. I have to build a chicken coop, and I have to fix the roof on the roundhouse so it doesn't leak as much. Big plans for this year. I was hoping for today to actually go and put that anvil inside the shop. Oh man. Alright, let me open the door here so we get some air in here. Woo! It's like 100 degrees in here. Yeah, finally made it up to the Viking camp. Have to drive with the windows down. It's like 100 degrees in here. Yeah. So I don't know. You guys, write down in the comments what you think about what's going to happen with the world water supply and how you feel about what do you think is going on here in Europe with the fish population dying. I'm not quite sure what I want to believe yet, but I do know it's a big problem. I don't think it's a natural phenomenon, although we did see in history, way before we saw medieval history, fish falling from the sky or massive fish dying, that algae could be a reason, I think. If the oxygen level in the water is higher than normal, and the salt level in the water is higher than normal. My one prediction, let's rule out chemicals or man-made products just once. I know that a certain type of algae, when there's a mass production of a certain type of red algae, and the fish are infested with it, it becomes, because fish usually swim in schools, they usually hang out in the same areas and carry those algae to new areas where they can produce in. Since the sun is so strong, the UV radiation will help grow those algae in other places, which the fish will help to carry those plague of algae to different locations. So that's my hypothesis. Number one is an algae infestation that is killing the fish. For the simple fact, it's not killing. You don't see giant octopuses and whales and all kinds of other creatures. It's just the fish, which is odd, or plants even. You don't see any massive plant. They would be swimming piles of organic material washing up alongside. If it were truly chemical pollution, all kinds of other animals, that mercury will collect and eventually sink to the bottom because of the ocean pressure. It'll collect enough mercury to make enough mass to sink the mercury down to the bottom, and other creatures. Well, in salt water that takes quite a bit, I must say that. But in fresh water, the mercury will eventually collect at the bottom and just kind of just stay there. So I don't think it's mercury pollution. I'm not sure. I don't know. You guys can write down in the comments what you think is going on. A little bit concerned. I'll check out the poll to see what you guys think is a popular solution for a water filter. And I'm probably going to end the stream here because I got a little Pooh Bear. He wants out. He's whining back there. I'm going to go home and see if we can get something good to eat, and then possibly wait till the sun goes down and come up here and install my new anvil in the workshop. We'll have to see if I can do that today. Got a lot of work to do in the basement as well. I just haven't been feeling up to it lately. I don't know. All right. Well, that's all going to be all for today. So, like always, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that smash button. If you're not already a subscriber to the channel, it helps out greatly if you click the subscribe button, ring the bell, and click all notifications. That way YouTube knows you want to see more of my videos, and you'll get notified every time I post new content. So, like always, stay safe, and see you soon.